All right, welcome. Today, we are cracking the code on one of the toughest interviews out there, the top-tier SRE and DevOps interview. We're going to get into exactly what you need to do and, maybe more importantly, what not to do to absolutely nail it.
So let's just start with the big question, right? What does it really take to get through this, let's be honest, technical gauntlet? Because it is so much more than just knowing a few tools. It's really about proving you have a very specific combination of skills and you can do it all under pressure.
And, it pretty much boils down to these three things, these three pillars. You've got to have that deep technical knowledge in the core tools, no surprise there. You have to prove your skills in a live coding challenge. And then there's the professional polish, the actual preparation for the interview itself. You master these three, you are in a fantastic spot.
Okay, let's tackle that first pillar, your Azure DevOps skills. But we're not talking about the basics. We're talking about the pro-level stuff that interviewers use to figure out, pretty quickly, if they're talking to a senior candidate or someone who's just getting started. So here's a question you're almost guaranteed to hear in some form. How do you handle version control for secrets in a YAML pipeline? Now, your answer to this one question can immediately tell them like 90% of what they need to know about your expertise with security. And this is really the whole story right here. The bad practice, and I mean this is a huge red flag, is just dumping secrets into your pipeline variables. Anyone with access can see them, change them, there's no audit trail, it's just a total security nightmare. The best practice, the answer they want to hear, is all about integrating with Azure Key Vault. That way, everything is centrally managed, it's secure, and it's properly versioned.
So how do you actually do that? Well, the tool for the job is variable groups. This is the feature in Azure DevOps that acts as the bridge, connecting your pipeline to that secure Key Vault. It lets you store all those secrets and then share them across multiple pipelines, which, as you know, is absolutely crucial when you're managing different environments like dev and prod.
All right, next up, here's another fun one interviewers love to throw at you. It's a classic architectural puzzle. You've got a monorepo, right? Multiple microservices all living together in one single repository. The question is, how in the world do you build them efficiently without, triggering a build for everything every single time someone pushes a tiny change?
And the solution is, honestly, it's pretty slick. First, you set up a root pipeline, but you tell it to explicitly exclude all those microservice folders from its trigger. Then, each service, A, B, and C, gets its own dedicated pipeline. And here's the magic trick. Inside each of those service pipelines, you use path-based triggers. So a change in B's folder only triggers B's pipeline. Simple, targeted, efficient, and it's the exact answer that screams senior engineer.
Okay, let's move on to pillar number 2, the coding challenge. This is really where the rubber meets the road. I mean, knowing the theory is great, but you have to prove you can actually do the work live, and usually with someone watching over your shoulder. No pressure, right? So, what should you actually expect? Well, the odds are very high that you'll be doing some live coding in either shell scripting or Terraform. So, if you're going to practice anything, practice that. You might get a take-home test or a code review. That's pretty common too. But what's interesting is, while Python is a great skill, a dedicated hardcore Python coding test, it's actually a pretty low probability for most of these roles.
And where are you going to be coding? Well, it could be anywhere. You might be in a fancy online platform like CoderPad. But honestly, a lot of the time, they'll just say, hey, can you share your screen and use your own VS Code? The real key here is just be flexible. And for goodness sake, have your local environment, your tools, a Linux VM, whatever you need, fired up and ready to go before the interview starts.
And that brings us to our third and final pillar, nailing the interview itself. Look, you can be the most brilliant engineer in the world, but if your preparation is sloppy, if your presentation is a mess, it can absolutely cost you the job. This is all about professional polish. Think of this as your non-negotiable pre-flight checklist. Is your lighting decent? Is your internet stable? And please, test your headset. But here's the one everyone forgets. Connect your modem to a power backup, a UPS. A 5-second power flicker should not be the reason your dream job interview ends. Have your tools open, have your ID handy. Don't be that person fumbling around mid-call. Okay, this one is huge. When they ask you that classic opening question, so tell me about yourself, you have got to keep it under 2 minutes. Seriously, they have read your resume. Just give them the highlight reel, your role, your main skills, your last big project, and then stop talking. Being concise shows you respect their time, and it's a huge sign of a real professional. So what happens when they ask you about a tool you've never used? We've all been there. Your heart sinks. Do not panic. And whatever you do, do not lie.
Just use this phrase. It is honest, it's professional, and it turns a weakness into a strength by showing you're humble and you're eager to learn. It is the perfect response.
All right, we've walked through our 3 pillars. Let's wrap this up and bring it all together. What are the absolute key takeaways you need to remember to get that offer?
First things first, secure your pipelines. You have to show them that you think about security by default. Talk about Key Vault. Talk about variable groups. Show them you know the difference between the amateur way and the professional way. Second, master the test. Don't just read about this stuff, you have to get your hands dirty. Practice that live coding. Get really comfortable with Shell and Terraform, and have your battle station, your local environment, prepped and ready for absolutely anything.
And finally, own the room. This is about the professional polish. Everything from your lighting and your audio to that short, punchy introduction, it all adds up to show them that you're a serious candidate who's ready for the role right now.
And that really leaves us with this one final thought. Your skills on paper, that's what gets you in the door. It gets you the interview. But it's your meticulous preparation that actually gets you the job. So the only question left is, are you ready for both?